Welcome back to Digital Devil Saga 2. Last time we lost Gale and Cielo, and now it's down to just Seraph and Sarah at the Harp facility, which is based on a real place in Alaska, actually. Harp stands for High Frequency Active Auroral Research Program. But there's nothing for us to do but head inside. A good thing she remembers her login ID.
It still works. I'm glad. I'm all right. We have to get started now. All right then. I'll start transmitting our data to God. Thank you, Seraph. Thank you for everything. God's data can easily overwhelm us. We need to focus. everyone.
It's good to see you, Seraph.
Seraph? But I'm...
Take a look at your new self. When Sarah's thoughts merged with Surf's, you were reborn as a complete whole. Eventually, your minds will become one, just as your bodies have.
Surf and I will be one.
Your journey is about to end. Show God man's infinite potential. With the help of all your comrades.
Who are you?
You'll see. Open your consciousness. No truth will be hidden from you.
Are you ready?
Let's go. Let's do this.
Heat.
This is something you have to do. Hey, lighten up already. I'm here for you.
Jinana. Lupa. Angel.
I'm finally at peace. Now go, Sarah, Seraph.
Argilla, Cielo, Gale, and Heat join the party. Seraph received the Reincarnate skill from Angel. Gale received the Paraflegeddon skill from Lupa. Argilla received the Seraph Lore skill from Jinana. And we're on the surface of the freaking sun! Welcome to the final dungeon of Digital Devil Saga 2, and maybe one of the coolest and most unique final dungeons in any JRPG. We are inside the sun, full of this amazing aesthetic with all these lotuses and petals. And also kind of the afterlife with an alliance of everybody who died over the course of the story. And, oh yeah, to address the elephant in the living room, we also have a new protagonist, technically. Surf and Sarah have now fused into Seraph. Their demon form being Ardha, the fusion of Shiva and Parvati in Hindu mythology, the perfect god, combining male and female. Yeah, we have essentially a non-binary protagonist for this game at the end. Ardha has no weaknesses and inherits for every stat whichever was higher between Surf and Sarah. Also, they inherit both Surf and Sarah's mantra grids, which is why I recommended diversifying their skills after you get Surf back. Was a little sneaky about that. Also, they can still equip ammo, but their gun is a little unique. We'll see that in a bit. We actually need to give them a new karma ring, though, because technically Seraph and Sarah are counted as leaving the party. Also, Heat. So, Heat inherits Roland's mantra grid, but he is very much his own character, strong against fire and weak to ice, heavily specializing in strength and physical attacks. However, you might not have Heat at this point, depending on what you do. Heat is technically a secret character, and there are actually 2 different variants of that pre-rendered cutscene, depending on the choices you've made in the story. If you don't make the 4 specific choices across DDS 1 and 2, and this means you do have to do a file transfer, then, if you don't do that, you will get Roland in the final dungeon instead of Heat.
Heat.
It's all yours.
You're too hard on yourself. You know, Heat?
Roland is exactly the way he was before. Him and Heat both serve roughly the same role at this point in the game, they just have different elemental resistances. This is why I kind of sneakily started to get some progress into the ice part of the mantra grid with Roland. That's because it's going to make it easier for Heat to cover his weakness later. Also, if we go into magic skills, Seraph now has Reincarnate, Angel's signature move from her final boss fight in the first game. 99 MP, but this move essentially one-shots most random encounters. It's a very cool thing to have when you're traversing the final dungeon. In order to get this, you have to answer "will never join you" when offered by Margot Cuvier earlier in DDS 2. Argilla now has Seraph lore. Reduces HP greatly. I believe it reduces HP by 4/5 on all enemies. This was Janana's signature move in her boss fight back in the first game. All non-human. Well, we never fight humans at this point, so there's no real way that can be nulled unless the enemy natively nulls its spell. There are a decent number of expel weak enemies in this dungeon, so it's quite useful to have. You are not guaranteed to have this skill. You need to transfer your file from DDS1 and also choose "we will help them without betrayal" when discussing your strategy with the Maribel back then. Argilla is auto-leveled to the highest level of your party, and she has whichever skill she had when she left. She might be significantly behind on mantras though. I think I'll spec her more towards force than fire. Meanwhile, Gale now has Looper's signature move from his fights. Unfortunately, Looper and Janana don't become party members, but they're with us in spirit via these skills. This one doesn't have any prerequisites besides the fact that you just have to do a DDS1 transfer. So, no dialogue choices, no extra quests required. You will always have this in a transferred file. This one's actually very useful against the super boss, but okay. Yeah, this is actually why a decent number of players like to give Gale like to get in progress in the fire section of the mantra grid in order to get fire boost and fire amp, but I didn't want to spoil that. I guess I could work on that in this dungeon. Now, somebody in the comments actually suggested something to me, and that was to use the Jewel Ring to allow me to use Mind Charge and a spell in the same turn. Now, it is important to remember to switch up your party before you move forward, because once we go into the dungeon proper, we are going to end up accosted by a forced mini-boss. I guess we'll take Heat. Unfortunately, Argilla is not great against this boss, but yeah, well, we'll see. So, with all that out of the way, let's actually talk to the people here. So everyone here is now Solar Data, essentially they're ghosts. I love the callback to that scene too. This is Janana's Solar Data. Yeah, I know you did. We don't know who Janana was based on in the real world, but maybe she was somebody who knew the nurse Argilla. And now we know who Looper was based on. And this is David Gale's solar data. Yeah, his surname was still Gale, even in his original incarnation. And he gives us a purple crystal. I think you always get that. And here's the Gale we know and love. I'm gonna count that as a catchphrase. So, the merger of Seraph and Seraph is actually a bit of a metaphor for the Hindu concept of enlightenment, the idea of escaping the cycle of death and rebirth, which is the ultimate goal of the religion. This is something that I will discuss as we progress further into the dungeon. I didn't want to get to it now because it would be kind of spoiling the direction the story eventually went in. And she gives us, fittingly, a Hope Diamond. Yeah, it's kind of interesting that even Margot Cuvier, of all people, saw the error of her ways in the end. It's like, this game is an oddly optimistic SMT game, sometimes even more than Persona is in some regards. Also, never change, Cielo. But yeah, even he acknowledges, yeah, he kind of sacrificed himself so close to the point where everybody came back anyway. And they even lampshade the fact that he doesn't use that mouth laser outside of the shmup game and that one cutscene against Bat in the original. Speaking of Bat, though, if the solar data of all the fallen returns to God, and we're here where it's all gathered, I wonder what that implies for our fallen enemies. Maybe we'll be seeing some of them again. So, yeah, the sort of funny thing about this is that I know a lot of people online who ship Seraph with Heat. Well, now you can resolve the love triangle by shipping Heat with Seraph, I guess. Also, instead of a large karma terminal, we have a large data node. Even looks kind of different, but we can teleport, restore, and get mantra like usual. In fact, I believe we should do this because Argilla has, oh, and Heat too. That seems mastered. Oh yeah, by the way, now we know why Heat has a different icon in the file select screen if we do a transfer from the first game. It's because they made a new portrait for him. Oh hey, we got a secret mantra. Everyone's luck went up. And we have another secret mantra. Yeah, that's what getting a whole bunch of new party members will do for you. Esoteric 7, what is this? Oh, Kukaitis, okay. Auto Chakra is, actually, how does this work exactly? I don't think it's Chakra Walk. Oh, right, yeah, as I thought, it's kind of a lesser version of Auto Soma / Victory Cry. It restores a little bit of MP after battle, which, honestly, is kind of decent. Yeah, I can't afford that, though. Let's go ahead and get you closer to Earth Amp and Heavy Rock. How close were you on the 4 section? Okay, you're up to Sky Dragon, so... Yeah, it's going to take a while before you get your weakness covering, but anyway. I believe Seraph needs a new mantra too. Oh, no, Seraph got World. But yeah, let's see the paths everyone has taken through the grid. This is Seraph. This is Heat. This is Argilla. This is Gale. This is Cielo. And Heat needs a new mantra. I probably didn't have enough money for these, though. Can I afford Ice Wolf, though? Yeah, just like old times, Heat's going to be going for ice skills just to get his weakness cover. Oh, by the way, this is why I didn't want to show the save menu at any earlier point in this playthrough, because I would have spoiled the fact that I have save files from the sun. And there's my file with Roland, just for demonstration purposes. I think this looks like a good setup for Heat right now. And of course, we gotta have... This is the shop. The shop's wherever I decide it is. Yeah, even if I'm dead. This is serious business, remember that. Okay, I do have a flower I can sell. And let's just grab both of these to fill up the slots in my karma rings. So now, all the karma rings that I have left are either gacha or on the sun. Speaking of gacha, oh, do I dare? What's the solar noise looking like? Yeah, solar noise still works even when you're literally on the sun. Are you increasing or decreasing? Please don't be decreasing. You are decreasing. Ah. Okay, let's hope my thumb pain is rewarded with gacha luck. Ah, I thought I wouldn't get it. That's fine. I am not looking forward to farming the gold boxes, though. But, yep, now there's Roland. Yeah, there's different dialogue if you got him in the party rather than Heat. But now it's time to get on this elevator and head into the actual dungeon. But like I said, make sure your party is prepared before doing this. How come the elevator platform flips over in midair? This is probably meant to be a tutorial fight for Arta. And it is Kingu. Yeah, pretty big 3D model for it in this game. We can't scan it now, but Kingu has no weaknesses, repels death, and nulls earth and ailments. Kingu is the son... Okay, sorry, I had to check if I was reading that correctly, but I was, and I'm disturbed. The son and second spouse of Tiamat, after her first spouse and his father, Apsu, had been slain. Plays an important role in the Mesopotamian creation myth. I now no longer feel bad about fighting Tiamat in SMT5 Vengeance. Anyway, yeah, we just basically need to use any attacks that are not Earth against him. But I could actually show off No, better. Mind Charged reincarnates. Yeah, there's Harihara in the animation. This is that move you don't want her to use in the final boss fight of the first game. And you're just straight up instantly dead. Okay. Yeah, that's the move that she uses if she has too many cores active. So up here, we have, yep, don't think we forgot him, Pyrojack Solar Data. We have access to Impulse Stones at this point still, which are nice to have in case of, can I afford this? Heat of the hoe, you're all out of dough, that's amazing. Yeah, can't afford it, but I'll come back and get one of these. They're nice to have if Momoikanes show up, which they thankfully can. Even more thankfully, you can also find Jack Frost here. So this is the Karma Ring creator's solar data. And that's all he's saying for now. If we come back and show him every Karma Ring that you can possibly acquire during the playthrough, which means that if you haven't done a transfer file, you won't actually need all of the DDS1 transfer rings. But this does include all the gacha rings and all of the super boss rings. If we come back and show those rings to him, he'll give us the ultimate Karma Ring, which nulls everything except Almighty. But having to go through all that gacha hell and beat every super boss except the last one, also any immunities won't work against the final super boss, it's not really worth it, but as well as there for completion. So treasure chests here are actually flowers, which is pretty cool. Also, yeah, something you may notice here, I'll give them both to Seraph, they deserve it. Yeah, the Mantra Grid theme was the final dungeon theme all along. That is just so great. So, we have damaging floors here, so this is why you want to be thankful they still stock core shields in the shops, because you will need them. I kind of wish that the music's like, I don't know, maybe there was a different battle theme for the final dungeon. But anyway, we have here Kuhulan and Skadi. Even their item animation is awesome. Kuhulan, repel, force, expel, and death, strong against physical gunfire, ice and elect, weak to poison and nerve. Which means we can put him to sleep and eat him quite easily. I actually do have Dorminer on some people, thinking about it. Maybe I should do that. Or I can just, you know, deploy Cielo in, because he has Poison Rain. Anyway, he's quite powerful physically, but we also have... Oh, wait, I forgot to talk about his lore. Kuhulan is a folk hero from Irish mythology, who appears in stories like the Ulster Cycle. He's the son of the god Lu, originally named Setanta, and gained his name when he killed Hulan's guard dog in self-defense, and offered himself as a replacement. The name means Hound of Hulan. He was trained by Skahar, and he has the magical spear Gaia Bolga, and also, he can use warp spasms to basically turn into the Hulk. That's a detail that a lot of myths leave out. So, Skadi, she has Terra, which kind of fits with her, I think she was, she's depicted as an earthquake goddess in a lot of the SMT and Persona games, but I don't know if that was actually totally true. Drains Earth, Null Expel, Mutant Panic, weak to Elect, that's kind of nice. In fact, Cielo is going to deal well with this encounter in general. Skadi is kind of interesting because she is a Norse giantess who's associated with skiing, the hunt, and winter, and the stepmother of Freyr and Freya. The design of Skadi in Shin Megami Tensei actually takes a lot of influence from the Women's Encyclopedia of Myths and Secrets, a book that caught on a lot in Japan, but actually turned out to be debunked quite a few years later. It's generally not considered a decent source of information these days, but it did influence a lot of Shin Megami Tensei demon designs, especially Memelef in Strange Journey. Should we go ahead? I'm gonna deploy. So much for giving Argilla screen time. Okay, well that was fine. Oh, nice, okay, yeah. He can now retaliate with a hunt skill, thanks to the retaliate, the little retaliate skill. Okay, we got a Thunderbolts. Mega damage, elect one enemy. Well, that's cool. But before that, I'm gonna go ahead and... You don't have Poison Rain anymore. Nice to know. So in that case, I'm just gonna go ahead and, I'll Skull Cleave you. Yeah, you have high counter, though. I don't know if the counter skills can, like, stack up, because it would be really funny to see, to just see Heat counter the counter with a Devour. Okay, as long as we don't use Force, we should be fine. But I would like to equip Poison Rain. The enemies in this dungeon, I know I use the phrase do not mess around often, but the enemies in this dungeon very much do not mess around. And neither does the dungeon itself. This dungeon is basically a greatest hits of every annoying Atlas dungeon gimmick. So, the gimmick of this first region of the dungeon is pitfalls and one-way doors, also damage floors. Yeah, there's a lot of callbacks to very classic SMT dungeon design in this game. So that door right there is actually one way. Joke's on you, without Roland in the party, nobody's weak to that. I guess I can use Mazionga. So instead, we're going to be heading up here. Also, by the way, this entire area to the west of the starting point is actually not necessary. It's only for chests, but I'm going to explore it anyway. However, we have a new enemy type here. We have Girimakala, the evil elephant from Sarankli mythology that's the Mount of Mara. Yes, that's exactly the Mara you're thinking of. And also, generally considered to be a demonization of the Hindu Ganesha. Demon Rage, Archetype Mudawan, Debilitate's annoying, Repel, Physical Gun and Death, Drain Fire, Null Poison, Weak to Expel, and Charm. Yeah, this is why I actually wanted to put, let's actually go ahead and deploy Argilla in. This is why I wanted to use Seraph lore. However, okay, no, maybe I actually will Zionga the Skadi first. Because Zeo works just fine against Gira Makala, I believe. So now we're going to go ahead and deploy in... I guess I can put Argilla over Seraph. Seraph doesn't have to be in the party at all times. I normally like using that on my turn, like when I have other press turns available, because then I get to exploit your potential frightened status. Here we go, Seraph lore! Don't even need unicorns to do this. We just need the Argilla OTP. Yep, exactly, you got frightened. Now Cielo can eat an entire elephant. An entire evil elephant. You know, to be honest, like, as much as Seraph is great, I actually wonder if this party is, like, better for this section. I mean, technically, Heat is kind of the real weak link in this party, but don't tell him that. We're giving him some screen time. He's had a bit of a rough time of it lately. So the second floor, that there is pointless. We're going to be going down here. And if we head this way through the damage floors, we'll get a Soma. Always nice to have those. Oh yeah, here's the problem. One of you nulls Expel, the other nulls Poison. Also, according to the info I have, the Sarge Giant Gira Makala can show up here. I don't often see that happen, but it's possible. Yeah, you might be noticing here that the enemies in the final dungeon do give you a lot of AP. That's because this is the only real place to grind AP in this game, which you'll probably need a bit for the super boss. There are actually technically 5 super bosses in here. Well, I guess I have to do this for good measure. By the light of Horus, you will kneel before us. Horus repels Expel, nulls Earth, weak to Gun, and Death. I just had Death on Cielo, but actually I could just use the Al-Azif, even though it's not that likely. But yeah, Horus is an Egyptian god associated with the sun, and the eternal enemy of the Egyptian god Set, or Seth in SMT, who might actually be residing in this dungeon and might be one of the 5 super bosses that I mentioned. He's the son of Osiris and Isis, and seeks revenge for his father's death at the hands of Set. Whenever the sun rises, Horus gets the triumph, but whenever the sun sets, Set gets the upper hand. So hopefully, well, I mean, actually, right now, we are literally on the sun, so I guess Horus is always ascendant. But hopefully we can channel a little bit of Set here and get instant death. Nope, okay. So what's he gonna do back? Magic Repel. Yeah. I still have crappy ammunition on Heat, though, I just realized. Come on, Horus, use an Expel skill. Or not, but I guess I can just rush you with my guns. That's a weird death sound. Okay, Horus is worth a pretty good amount of AP. I know this is a kind of a low-end mantra, but still. The only downside of these skills is they have very long animations. It kind of makes me wish this game had a skip animation button. Aha! 2 evil elephants! What perfect prey for my Seraph lore. And we have Ice Wolf, Mabufala, and Ice Drain. And that's all there is on this part of the sun. So we're gonna drop down this pitfall. Very gracefully, though. Yeah, that sucks. And of all people, Cielo was the first to hit level 50. Well, it makes sense, he's amazing. I believe I can afford an Impulse Stone now. Oh, he actually explains a little bit of lore if you say, who are you? He died chasing after his bro Johnny. I can't afford more on the ice track, but I can get Maiden. So now it's time to go to the east. And this part of the dungeon is a little more complicated. But there is a chest for us over here. Well, a flower. It's just a little weird to refer to item granting things in RPGs as flowers. Ah, there we go. Now we've got a great use case for Cielo's Poison Rain. If they don't Skull Cleave him first, that is. Oh hey, a Skull Cleave for everyone. Here you go, Poison Rain. And the purple crystal. What is this, Crash Bandicoot? Well, actually, it'll be Crash Bandicoot even more soon. You'll see. I will need more core shields, but I will start using them once I reach the next damage zone. He's the closest one to mastering a mantra too, of course. They may be a little less prevalent than they were in the first game, but stomachaches are very much still a thing. Yeah, but now let's head up this elevator, kind of. Berserk mode is still a thing, and Arda does indeed have a Berserk form. Don't know if I should try and demo that now or not. I do like the current party. Okay, so here, there are 2 elevators we can take. One of them will not be of use to us right now. I had a feeling that might happen. Against Kuhulan, I don't think I'll press my luck. If we go up there, the only way we'll be able to proceed has a pitfall right in front of us. You really want to give me a Berserk mode encounter, don't you? Oh wait, it's actually our first time seeing Heat's Berserk form too. I guess we can try and show off his death blow. Ooh, that's bad. Okay, she survived at least. You're going for a mind charge. Oh boy. Okay, I should probably just go. It's not a ton of progress to lose right now, but I'd rather not die if I can help it. So instead we use a core shield to move over here and go up elevator number 4 according to my Japanese map. And from here we actually need to fall down a pitfall to get to where we would go with the other elevator. But yeah, so we're up here. We don't want to fall down this pitfall though. In fact, unfortunately, we have to go pretty high up before we end up falling down a pitfall to get just one single chest in the other area. But I do want to go for all chests in this game. Oh, that's cool. Okay, yeah. Unfortunately, we're going first. This is a demon that I don't often see as a regular enemy. That's not a good combination, though. Especially with that. This is Pallas Athena, the Greek goddess of wisdom and a child of Zeus. Well, she's actually goddess of a lot of things, but wisdom is one of the main domains of her. Repel ice, null expel and charm, strong against elect, weak to only death. Okay, that could actually be kind of bad. At least she doesn't repel poison. So I can get a little bit of weakness hits in on the Kuhulans. I still hate that. I might be able to finish off the Kuhulans with a second Poison Rain. There we go, they're both gone. Okay, that makes things a little easier. Guess I could try and just spam Al-Azif. And there she goes. But yeah, ever since Athena became Icus' persona, I feel like you don't often see it as a standard enemy in most of the SMT games. From here, we have a bit of a loop around, but we have a heal point there, which is probably meant for if you take a lot of damage from the healing floors. Well, that was kind of inevitable. Oh, that killed everything, okay. Sorry, that means he missed out on the experience. Cielo's getting a little too over level, but at the same time, I need him here for Poison Rain. Yeah, we'll grab this. Chakra Pot. We could get those from the shop right now, so it's not really that much of a big deal. But yeah, let's swing around here and hit this heal point, or as they're called here, Restoration Nodes. But we're going to be heading up this elevator. They really like giving me this encounter. Thankfully it wasn't an ambush that time. So now Cielo has Mudaon, Wicked Curse, and Death Repel. And now he's even more useful against the enemies in this area. kind of tempted to put Muda on, on just for the Palace Athenas. I actually feel like having Elect Boost and Amp at this point is kind of overkill. The core shields really don't last very long. At least they're pretty cheap, so you can buy them in bulk. But now we're on the second layer, 4th floor. If we take a turn before going on to those damaging floors, we have a small node. Small data node. I suppose Karma doesn't really matter at this point now that we're already all dead. But here's the point where I have to take a bit of a detour. Yeah, right there's a wall. So that's where I have to go down one set of damaging floors, then go all the way over here, right at the end of this. Which unfortunately will force me to backtrack all the way back up here afterwards. Let's try the Thunderbolt combo. Which did less damage than Zeodyne, even though it's supposed to be a stronger tier of damage. And yet more people are level 50, and Heat has Stun Needle, Comatose, First Strike, and Null Critical. Doesn't actually Null Critical, it just lowers the chances of criticals. Heat's level up now he's back in the party. Let's not tell him that we've already bought the Revival Orb. Where would you be without me? Casually gives us an item that we have no use for anymore. So yeah, this drops me back down on the 3rd floor, but through here I can go and grab this rare chest. For another one of these Manjusakas. So all this was just for money. So we can't go that way. And this right here is a one-way door, I believe. Yeah, there's no door on the other side. And from here, this leads back to that elevator that I was saying before had nothing for us at the time. If we had gone up this, our only option would have been a pitfall back down. So now I'm going to just get back to where I was before. Of course, that ended right in front of the damage tiles. Well, I mean, they're not technically tiles, but I like to say damage tiles just because, yeah, it's Persona Cube slash Etrian Odyssey. Well, that was great. And in fact, I guess I can demonstrate here that being cursed makes you more vulnerable to instant death. Apparently that was not a thing in the first game, only the second game. Thank you again, Yuzu, for that detail. And at this data node, we can swap out some mantras. I think that means that Cielo now has access to the ultimate death mantra. Death has been added. Oh, we got another secret mantra. Yeah, it's a lot easier when you have your full party back together to unlock these. Null risks. Null risk decreases the chance of enemy surprise attacks. Okay. I really, really want Atma Premium. I suppose I can grab Ice Master while I'm here, but now you have access to Death. Mamudo-on, Petrifier, and Null Death. Funny that Mamudo-on is considered like an ultimate skill in this game. I suppose I can get this, that'll put you closer to Fatal Hunt skills. No, I am not cheaping out on Cielo, what are you talking about? I'll spend more on him once I have more money. And it maxed in one battle. Technically, I should go back to that save point again, but I'm lazy. Wow, these core shields do not last long. You know, something that I just realized? Now that we technically no longer have Seraph or Sarah, we don't have an Ice Shot combo anymore. And that's relevant to who we're about to be fighting. In fact, I kind of want to get into an encounter just to see what kind of combos Seraph has. I think somebody told me that Seraph does have gun combos, and I would assume they're almighty. Oh hey, perfect time for gun combos. Or Seraph could immediately die, okay. Okay, it looks like Seraph's human form doesn't have gun combos? But yeah, their human form's attack is Pana Beam, which has them literally using a finger gun. Also, it looks like they pretty much inherit Surf stuff, so that means that they have, yeah, the Charm Shot instead of Gospel. Let's fix that. I forgot to set my Dyne skills on Seraph, whoops. Anyway, we just need Bufu Dyne for this one. And instead of Zionga and Terazi, we'll take Ice Boost and Ice Amp. You can probably tell who we're about to be fighting if you're familiar with the first game. You have, you should take, okay, who has the Fire Repel? You have Fire Repel. Seraph Law won't work on bosses, so we'll take that over that. You have a buff to Seraph's Mind Shard, so I can use the charge combo if I want to. Bufula for extra press turns, I guess. And I'll set Mediarama, which is better for bosses, even though I probably won't need it. Let's go. A strange presence can be felt beyond the door. Strange presence awakens the emotion of fear, I suppose. Unfortunately, the solar data of our old foes has maybe gotten a little bit corrupted in the data transfer process. But they even get their own battle theme. Oh, Cocytus is a combo. Levitine is mega fire damage and defense down. Cocytus is mega ice damage to one enemy. Oh, I suppose I can go for Cocytus, actually. Kind of fitting that we're using the old crew for this. Hayagriva is still weak to ice and still uses a lot of fire skills. You know what? I'm actually going to go for the charge combo. And then I'm going to have Heat use the Fire Repel. Or Void Fire. Just regular Void Fire should be fine, though he does have a few new tricks later on. Also, Harley's had a bit of a glow up. This has gone from weak physical fire damage to one foe to severe physical fire damage to one foe. That's Mind Charge. Mind Charge, Ice Boost, Ice Amp, Bufudine. That's damage. Yeah. That sure is damage, and we could be doing even more if I do this. Which, like, I honestly don't really care about buffing your attack, because as long as I have Fire Repel, you can't hurt me. You do have to feel really bad for Harley. It's still kind of insane that in the first game, that in the novelization, Quantum Devil Saga, Harley was gonna turn into a giant blob and devour the entire junkyard. So we almost got a universe where Harley could have been the final boss of DDS1, or at least, you know, maybe the penultimate boss. I feel like it probably still would have been Angel in the end. Technically, I guess you still have one more level of defense debuff that I can stack on. And yeah, this is a remix of the main boss theme from the first game. Yeah, again, he has learned some new tricks. He's got Psycho Rage on his side now. But whenever he uses Ice Drain, that's him telegraphing Burn to Ashes. Which is going to do absolutely nothing, since we have the Fire Shield up. Although, that was a lot of healing to repel into him. However, it won't actually help him, because he's still taking a heck of a lot of damage from my Mind-Charged Bufudines. Oh, but he still has his Ice Drain up, so... yeah. Guess I can't do that, so I suppose I should use this turn to just keep buffing. Or I could Debilitate. Okay, I need to pass your turn so that you can use Void Fire. Yeah, he does kind of like to spam this later in the fight, which gets very annoying. However, I mean, I've always got Mind Charge Reincarnate to fall back on. I wonder who Harley was based on in the real world, if anyone. Maybe he was just another one of the combat AIs. Okay, he's not going down just yet. I would very much appreciate if you tried to use a fire attack here. Thank you. I suspect that he's going to die very soon. These fights are really more of a victory lap than anything, and a nice callback to the first game, but it is kind of cool to show how far we've come.
Defeated again! This is not fair! Maybe I should retire to a nice big beach with a nice big drink and a woman with nice big bags of ice for my head.
Oh yeah, and Seraph has fully customizable stats on level up just like Seraph did. That is a pretty awesome way to be getting an item out of random leveling. Oh yeah, I need to give Heat a better type of ammo. And that completes the second layer of the sun, the first layer being the start. This will take us to the third layer, but we'll do that next time. For now, let's pick up our prize for defeating Harley. Manjusaka. Actually, hang on a minute. Before I do anything else, I think it's definitely worth it to go up to the next floor. Because there's going to be a large Karma terminal soon. Firstly, though, real Argilla's solar data. Finally realizes that she was gaslit all along. There's nothing down that path. And here we have this glowing passage of light in the depths of space. The aesthetic behind this place is incredible. This might be one of my favorite final dungeons in any JRPG I've played. Hopefully this isn't a... Okay, we have Lilith's here. I will talk about Lilith next time. Right now, I'm just focused on getting to the save point. Reincarnate is a nice note button to any random encounter you find. If you can stand the long animation. So I'll grab this. Revive. Another thing I don't need. Well, at least Heat doesn't need to feel bad, because the dungeon itself has also given us redundant items. This time, Mind Charge Reincarnate. Yeah, that's about right. At this large data node, we can warp back and sell our flowers, we can heal, we can get new mantra, so this is a good place to call things. I'll see you next time as we explore the third layer of the sun, and face off against a foe that I'm sure everybody is looking forward to killing again.